Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Politomato. We have a hot one for you today because Antifa once again is in Minneapolis, sowing the seeds of chaos by calling for civil war, telling a mob of protesters that they must win this battle now so that ICE is ended for good. Minneapolis, a city, a bomb on the brink of explosion. A protester thought it was a good idea to be armed while interfering with border agents, was shot and killed during the tussle. Because of this, out of mind, Tim Walz has just declared war on federal law enforcement in the city, swearing to arrest and prosecute the Border Patrol agents for murder. His rhetoric has fanned the flames to an explosive tinderbox. President Trump responds.
We all know that they picked Minnesota for a reason. They said that this was for retribution. We all know what that's about. They tried the same shit in Chicago. It didn't work the same way it worked here. We're pushing back harder. If we went here, they can't take any of the rest of the Midwest. This is the start of their downfall. If we lose here, everywhere else is fucked. No one else has the sort of resistance. We have to win here. This will be the end of ICE.
And here is President Trump's response to the shooting on Truth Social after showing a photo of the handgun that this guy was carrying. This is the gunman's gun loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go. What was this all about? Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off. It is stated that many of these police were not allowed to do their job, that ICE had to protect themselves. Not an easy thing to do. I've seen many of these videos that are circulating. It's really hard to tell exactly what happened, but the bottom line is, why would anyone think it's a good idea to encounter Border Patrol officers when you yourself are armed, unless you are trying to win a Darwin Award? And it looks like that's exactly what happened. But as the facts are coming out, it seems to be very clear exactly why this man put himself in harm's way, because he's being enticed to by many activists in videos and in speeches to show up armed. This scholar in this next clip explains everything you need to know.
It's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. Sorry, but welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep being protected from literal Nazi gunmen.
And this, folks, is exactly why Trump needs to invoke the Insurrection Act immediately. Think about it. They choose to take up arms against the government to stop illegals from being deported when it's not even legal for them to be here in the first place. Makes no sense. And believe it or not, Tim Walz is ordering police to stand down, telling mobs to fight with ICE and Border Patrol. To protect all Americans, including these lunatics, we need to bring in the Marines and lock the city down until the job of removing every single illegal is complete. President Trump goes on to say, the mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric. Among other things, this is a cover-up for the billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state, but soon to be great again, of Minnesota. And folks, this seems to be nothing but a sleight of hand. If everyone's looking at the chaos in the streets, they'll forget about the reason why we're there in the first place, and that is the billions of dollars that were stolen from American taxpayers by Somali fraudsters. To make things even worse, Dr. Chaos himself, Tim Walz, holds a press conference minutes after the shooting to fan the flames even more, promising to arrest and prosecute the Border Patrol agents who were only there defending themselves over a situation that Tim Walz himself put them in.
Local media has reported extensively on the cooperation to de-escalate this situation. Donald Trump, I call on you once again. Remove this force from Minnesota. They are sowing chaos and violence. We've seen deadly violence from federal agents again and again and again. Minnesotans are witnessing, and we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible for this. They're helping their neighbors, they're walking their kids to school, they're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint, And I call on all Americans to see the decency that this state is exhibiting and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional, absolute abomination that is passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. After all the reporting that's been done, after everything that's been said under the pretense that they are here about immigration reform, and quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. We have law enforcement who do an incredible job. And to listen to Greg Bovino denigrate the work of our people who are out there cleaning up their mess, no, I don't have a lot of confidence that he himself will do it. But here's what I do have confidence in. There's a whole lot of Republicans, for whatever reason, cannot find their spine. But they might find the ability to know that they're not going to win another election as long as they live unless they stand up for what's right and stand up for the rule of law and stand up for human decency, and that's the moment. And look, I speaking to the people of Minnesota right now, I hear that scream from you, and I'll continue to plead and ask you for peace, and I know the answer is you ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming out of a donut shop. My confidence is, and I say it to Minnesotans, as I've said, exercise your First Amendment rights, speak out, bear witness and document legally. But I understand the risk in that. Minnesotans are witnessing, and we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible for this.
I apologize that you had to listen to Tampon for that long, guys, but it's important to get that perspective. Tampon, of course, doing his best to incite these riots to cover up the Somali fraud that ran rampant under his watch. Now, as a special treat and to clean out our ears, let's listen to an important perspective from Border Patrol Chief Bovino to set the record straight.
We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help, state and local law enforcement, to help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the streets. Mayor Fry and Chief O'Hare just a few minutes ago did the opposite of that by omitting the fact that the suspect had a gun and magazines full of ammunition. In what looks like a situation, again, where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
President Trump, here is a message to you. You just need to end this. You're not going to get any help from Tampon Tim or any other one of his cohorts. Send in the Marines and let's get this city cleaned up once and for all so we can move on to the next city, such as one in California maybe. Gavin Newsom. And everyone, that's going to be a wrap for this video. I really hope you enjoyed the content surrounding Dr. Chaos himself, otherwise known as Tampon Tim. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment. I would love to hear what you guys think. I thank you all very much for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and wherever you are, keep smiling.